Miami. Welcome back to Let's Chat with Disco George. My people, today I am sending you to a place that is a pinnacle of Spanish food on US 1 and 17th Avenue. I've been going there, oh my God, for over 20 some years. And this place is called El Carajo. So I am sending you to El Carajo. So I have the president here today, and we're going to talk about the food and what's going on there. And lots of stuff is going on, but the best part, it's all delicious. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How's it going today?
It's going well. It's another beautiful day in Miami.
That's true. That's fantastic. So let's get this going, because a lot of people don't know that the restaurant is there unless if it's by word of mouth, or they go to the location and they go in and it's a gas station. And then all of a sudden you open it and there's a bakery, there's they sell wine, champagne, and over-the-counter stuff, just like regular drinks.
Yeah, we have the restaurant, the bakery, the wine store, and of course it's all, inside of the gas station.
It's an all-in-one, right?
Yep, it's a one-stop shop.
So let's start at the very beginning. How did this all begin?
So it's an interesting story. My family, they're immigrants. They came from Cuba. And I guess the start of it happens when my grandfather, my father, and some of my family moved down to Miami, and they take over this location, which actually was a mechanic shop. So before you saw the building that's there now, you would see this old beat up mechanic shop, tow shop. Oh. And later on in the 1990, my father, as he took over the business, he built the new location that we have now, and actually had a car wash in the back. And that's kind of where the restaurant is now. Incredible.
But did your father have a restaurant experience, or exactly what was it that your father or your grandfather, what was the moment they're like, you know what, we need to start a restaurant? What was the sauce that got it going?
The sauce would have to start, I guess, with my father, where he fell in love, I guess, with wine. And, people know the wine store. The wine store is older than the restaurant and the bakery. And he fell in love with the idea of wine and culinary. And as time went on, the gas station was great. It's been great to our family, but he wanted something more. He wanted something more interesting and something more passionate. And he decided that a restaurant was the way to go. And actually, the inspiration for specifically Spanish tapas comes from a family trip that we had when I was maybe 8 years old, where we went to Spain and we went to Italy. And of course, my father fell in love with the idea of tapas. He loves the dynamic feeling of small plates, people having fun and good conversation. And in Italy, we discovered this place called the Autobahn, which is these beautiful gas station-y type concepts they have, where they have great food. And my dad was like, well, why can't we do that in Miami?
Exactly.
And so, yeah.
And how did he come up with the name of the place?
The name is kind of how the name itself is funny. The way it came up was funny. Was he knew he wanted to do a restaurant, and he was brainstorming with the original people he worked with to come up with a name. And eventually they got frustrated just from working, and they go, vámonos al carajo. And then it stuck, and he loved it. And he was like, let's go with that.
Exactly. And I remember years ago, it would come out in the media all the time. I remember that the original location was on 57th and around 12th.
Yep.
And I used to love going there because I live in the city of West Miami. So I was like, this place is, the name just like grabbed me, you know what I mean? So if anything, yo soy cubano. So I was like, oh, I got to go check out this place. And I fell in love with la paellas, but I particularly, I love to order las tablas.
Yeah.
I love las tablas. Oh my God. And the sofritos and everything, everything Spanish, the true, our origin. But tell us, so how long have you been involved with the family business?
So I started in 2010. So I was fresh out of college, literally off the airplane to the store. And I was actually there to start the online wine store. But once I got in there and, it was a small business and you start getting involved and I have a bunch of ideas for things, and little by little, I became the marketing manager. And I was like, because at that time, the restaurant wasn't as well known as it is today. People knew the name, but they forgot that it was inside a gas station. They didn't know it was there. And I was like, the most amazing place in the world. If people don't know it exists, they won't go to it.
Exactly.
And so that was kind of where I started. So it was about 2010 that I got on board and started helping.
All right. And since you were kind of with the wine, tell us, I know the place, like I said, it's all in one, but how much wine is really being sold? Do people just go, because I know you have for all prices. So what's your biggest seller of wine right now?
Oof. There's some classics, like Prosecco has been very big. It changes throughout the years. Sauvignon Blanc, right now Sancerre is blowing up. And to say which ones are biggest, it would be Napa Cabs. People love Napa Cabs. Obviously, Spanish wines. It's difficult to say which one is the biggest because people are always changing.
A dark horse that's under $20 that you could recommend to our viewers?
I personally always like Cune Crianza, which is entry-level Spanish wine. I find Spanish wines are usually a better bang for your buck.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love the cherry notes that they have. I love the more woody notes that they have. And it really just depends on the individual. We have had wines. Right now, we don't have anything that is blowing everybody out of the water. Usually when we have something under $20 that blows everything out of the water, it gets sold right away. Because usually someone made a mistake.
I like wine, obviously, but the prices vary. What would you consider 30, 40 or something?
It really depends. For everyday wine, I personally stick around $15. I think you can get an amazing bottle of wine for everyday drinking around $15. You're gonna have some friends over, but casual, $25, $30 can get you an excellent bottle of wine. You really want to have something really fancy for dinner, you can get into the $50s to $70 wines. And then once you start getting past $70 to $80, then you're really kind of going for more of the winery or the style. Because really once you get to 70 or 80, you're getting most of the value of kind of the progress of wine. At that point, every dollar more you spend doesn't quite get you twice as good a bottle of wine. But to the people who know, just even a little bit difference can make the experience for them. So it's I'd say for everyday wine $15 to $20. It's really not too crazy.
So I was right there. I was right there. And do you guys do delivery? So if I wanted to call in and order a whole case?
Yeah. So right now we actually just started. So we have two online parts. We have for the food, which you can do on our website or through Uber Eats, and you can order delivery as well as pickup. Oh. And for our wine delivery, because the same people can't do the food, can do as much wine as we do. So we partner with a UPS company called Roadie, and we have elcarajo.shop. And that is our online wine retail. And that's where you can see our whole wine selection. You can order for pickup, delivery, shipping, all from that part.
So how about a catering, a party?
So catering, we normally...
You got 20 people coming to the house. And
what we normally do is if you are calling in and you want to do a party at your house, we will help with... We'll do a large takeout order essentially, but we can customize it a little bit. We've dabbled with doing on-site catering, and that's it's a different business,
Completely.
Yeah, El Carajo is really more about the experience of being with friends and family, and really what we have going on there. And while we can help with catering, I feel more intimate, smaller parties.
Right.
The big 200 to 300 people parties. That's not really the ethos that we have there. It's
And what's your capacity for the actual restaurant?
The restaurant's only actually 55 seats.
Okay.
Very small.
But I know you have that large table in the back. So how many people sit in that one right there?
That's about 16 people.
16 people.
Yeah.
And you have to pre-reserve because every time I go, that table is always full.
Yeah. People love it. It's the community table. It's where you have big families get together, celebrations, and even when we have individual groups, couples and stuff sitting there, they always start talking to each other. They have fun. You make new friends at the store. as you know, we probably have a lot of people who know about wine. So if you're drinking an interesting bottle of wine at your table, someone might be like, "Hey, I like that wine," and then you might start talking about the wine. We host tastings at the table, dinners at the table, and again, the community table is great because it really encapsulates the ethos of the place, where it's about having fun, it's about being together. People always ask, like, why don't we do live music? And I'm like, the music is your conversation. Exactly. It should be you guys having a good time, and that's really what is important about having small bites, having wine, and really having a good time.
Excellent. Well, I know you brought them some delicious treats, so let's go through them so we could try them, and then we'll keep on going, and let's check it out.
Great.
All right. So what are you starting out with today?
So we are starting off with the bacon wrapped dates, dátiles envuelto en tocino. So this one's a little bit more unique to us. Yeah, it's probably behind croquetas. It's probably one of our crowd favorites. Croquetas is the champion. This is
obviously. Well, tell us a little bit about the croquetas while I try this.
So, croquetas are, we do something a little different from a traditional Spanish croqueta, which would be like a little bit more like a round ball. So we kind of do like a more traditional Spanish recipe with the bechamel and a little creamier, but we do it like in a more Hispanic shape, which is like the cylinder. And really, it's just about having a good flavor, having good things. We have serrano ham, which is our number one flavor, bacalao, which is actually the original flavor. It's still one of our top flavors. We have a chorizo, and we have a traditional chicken one as well, which that one is actually my favorite.
Really? The chorizo one? Oh, wow.
The chicken one, actually.
Oh, the chicken one.
Yeah. I had them actually, I was like, make sure I want little pieces of chicken that you can actually taste. Because a lot of times people will do a very, very bechamel-y, very smooth, but like creamy, but almost like it doesn't have any texture to it. And I really wanted us to have like little bits of chicken inside there so that when you eat it, you're having a chicken croqueta, and it just has some great flavor.
And how many, when you order it, does it come in threes?
Yeah, they come in threes.
In threes?
Yeah.
So usually you make them ready, hot and fresh.
Yeah.
So you couldn't get those
in the restaurant.
And yeah, you can't get those
in the bakery. We have them like they're fried. They're a little bit more traditional, where you can get them grab and go. So they're not going to be quite as have that nice crunch on the outside. But they're essentially the same thing because people just they want them, and so we let them have it wherever they want. That's kind of one of the challenges of having the bakery there. People demand the food, so we got to give it to them.
And I had seen that you guys at one time had like one of the best croquetas per the Herald, correct?
Yeah.
So are you still doing like croqueta competitions? Because croquetas have even blown up even more now. Or are you guys just focusing on?
We haven't done events like that in a while. The restaurant, when I first started, we had to do a lot of events. Again, people didn't know that we existed. People to this day walk into the store, don't look at all at the corner and be like, oh, there's a restaurant back there. So back then we did a lot of events, a lot of these food festivals.
Wine, yeah.
Nowadays we don't do it as much. I got a little older, and just the attention to the service and things inside the store required more time. We do a little bit right now. We do work mostly like charity events. We work with Vizcaya. We actually are going to be doing their event tomorrow morning. So I'll be there doing that. So most of the time that we usually do events, it's usually charity type things.
Okay. Is that open to the public?
I believe that they have a free option to visit it's like a market that they have going on, and then they have paid tickets.
Well, yeah, they do that. Yeah, they have the farmers market. I think, is it like every week or once a month?
Yeah.
So yeah, my cousin, as a matter of fact, my cousin lives right down the street from where you guys are at, right in the roads. So he's always going there, and sometimes we're like, oh yeah, let's meet at El Carajo for tapas or whatever. So that's the beauty of your location, is you're right there. It's so easily to get there.
It's a landmark.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to walk a little bit, you could even go on the metro rail if you wanted to.
People come, they're walking. The community there is been growing and flourishing. The Underline, who we work with as well, they have built beautiful parks under the metro rail, and we've been working with them because we're one of the few businesses.
Is that area finally finished?
Yeah. Yeah, they
Because
worked
I know
on
there
it.
was construction there for
They
a
had
while.
to do some work recently. That was FP&L and the water department. So unfortunately, our friends at the underline were a little frustrated because they had to rip up all the beautiful foliage that they had put down.
Oh.
But it is, they have to put in. It's important to put in good electricity for the community.
No,
So
absolutely. All right, the next one is los garbanzos, no?
you got garbanzos fritos. Yeah,
All right, let's try that.
this is a little bit more traditional. It's more fun, made with chorizo, a
By the
little bit
way,
of chorizo fresco.
the dates were fantastic. They were delicious. I had to tell you honest with you, I had never had them before.
They're pretty decadent.
I'm all right.
This is actually one of my brother's favorites.
Very good.
My younger brother Carlos, who's actually the sommelier. He's really the spiritual successor to my father when it comes to the wine.
Is he always there?
Yeah, he's there quite a lot. He's actually the sales and marketing manager and sommelier because small business, so you got to wear a lot of hats.
Absolutely. So that was delicious. But let's get to la paella,
The main course.
the main course. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to put a little bit in the container for me. In production, if you could show some of the location pictures again while we do this.
Do you want?
Dame un camarón ahí. No. Ahí, perfecto, gracias.
You want our shrimp?
Yeah, I'll get in now.
Don't want to eat too
got
much.
one. Yeah, exactly.
It's really easy.
I'm already breaking the number one rule that I shouldn't be eating in front of the camera, pero bueno. Anything for a delicious meal here.
Yeah, and then again, that's part of our ethos too. It's we're in a gas station, and we're dealing with tapas and wine, and these are two types of things that a lot of our society have become like very like high end and like very like a little ritzy. And I was just like, that is the opposite of what these things should be. It should be about having a good time. Tapas should be about having fun, and it's great to have a culinary experience about them. But at the end of the day, it should be bringing people together. And the wine shouldn't be something that is like relegated to people who can only afford $50 and $60 wines. That's why I think a $15 price point is such a great area to start, and to remind people that you can have this wonderful experience, culinary experience, and it doesn't have to be in this snooty environment where it's like, I'd say there's like some pretense a little bit, but we trying to drop that. I mean, and of course, being in a gas station, it immediately drops a lot of that.
So you could go in jeans and
anything.
Maybe Bermuda shorts are okay.
For lunch, absolutely. People come from the beach. Our location is very centralized, and we're open for lunch every day of the week. And people come in very relaxed. Our locals come in after either yoga or church, and you can easily see people dressed up and people dressed down, and the environment makes it so that it really doesn't matter. Whether what you see is everybody smiling and having a good time. So that's really what I think is disarming about the place. People just come in and they drop kind of a little bit of those pretenses, and they're just there to have a good meal and have a good drink.
A great time. That was delicious. It's funny, I don't know if this happens to you. You have a paella somewhere and you're like, that was it. You have like a memory of a good paella, and you're like, oh, that wasn't as good. But I'm like, oh, this is really, really good. I had one not too long ago from another location that I went for a flamenco show, and it was good, but it was actually, to be honest, I thought it was a little too smoky. I don't know what they added to it, but it was. I don't know if you ever had. It was just smoky. I
had lots of types of paella.
Yeah, but speaking of which, tell us the different type of paellas that are available at your location.
Right now we have a seafood paella. It's a little bit more wet style. We have a surf and turf.
This is the seafood, right?
This is the seafood, which is our most popular. It's really classic flavors. People love this. When most people think of paella here, they think of this. Then we have a surf and turf, which is going to be our mix of meat and seafood, and that's a specifically designed paella. And right now we also have available what we call paella única, which is a little bit more of again, about dropping pretense. You can mix and match and make the paella that you want, and we'll do our best to make something that's really special. We can do chicken if you really want. You can do pork. You can do pork and shrimp. You can do, you can make a different combination of things.
Awesome. And to close out, because believe it or not, our time is almost done, believe it or not. I know you spoke earlier about the wine dinners. Elaborate a little about that, and also the wine tastings.
Yeah, so every month we are doing a wine dinner that we work with a specific supplier. We've worked with Muga, Luigi Bosca, and we're doing those once a month. So follow us on Eventbrite to stay up to date, because right now we're sold out for the next event that's coming up soon. And the one
is
following,
it like every first Friday, or what day do you guys usually do it?
I guess that's scheduled based off when the supplier can come, because we normally have somebody from the actual winery try to come and speak at the event.
Okay. And what does it usually go for, the price?
It's only like $80 or $90. It's very inexpensive for what you're getting, but people.
And how many courses?
You 4 to 5 courses.
4 to 5 courses.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually had to stop serving so much food because people would be a little frustrated because they'd be getting to the 4th course and they'd be like, I'm too full. So we're like, all right, too much of a good thing.
I'm going to definitely have to go to that one, because I'm the opposite. I usually want more food. I'm like, oye, pero ponme más arroz. I'm like, el arroz lo más barato, So that and the wine tastings.
So we do wine tastings also once a month.
Okay.
We have the rosé tasting coming up soon. Tickets still available. I think we only have 2 or 3 tickets available. So the faster you get to it.
And how much does that go for?
Those go for somewhere usually around $40.
Okay.
Yeah, usually that is going to be that's even more casual than the dinner. It's usually some wine. We have the speaker from either the supplier or directly from the distributor, or maybe even my brother might put on one, and he loves to put on a show. And there we just taste the wine and have a little bit of embutidos. And yeah.
All right. My last question. Actually, a question, and then I'm going to put the back onto you. Do you guys do happy hour?
Happy hour? I mean, every hour is happy hour there.
Yes. Okay. But an official, do you have any promos for like?
Right now, we're not really doing a happy hour promo. We kind of, the wine is already very inexpensive. People just kind of come in and have a good time. And we actually used to do a happy hour. And what we found was that people just bought the regular stuff anyways, because it's usually so good. We actually tried brunch once too.
Believe it or not, I'm obviously older than you, but back in the day, happy hour was huge for my age group in the in the 50s. So when we want to get together, like old friends, the first thing that they always ask me, where's the best happy hour? Where is the best happy hour? That's the first question that I always get, because we always usually go around happy hour. So that's why I was asking, because I know somebody that's watching right now is going, ask them if they have happy hours. So, all right. Well, I want to thank you, first of all, for coming in and obviously taking some time from your business and to talk about your location and your delicious food. But I wanted to, do you want to give any shout outs to your family or your anybody?
Yeah, I mean, shout outs to obviously.
Let's do it right over there.
I do a shout out to my family, to the wonderful staff that we work with, and the great customers and people we have. I'm sure many of your listeners out there, you guys know, you love our place, and thank you so much for the years of being good customers and being loyal guests. Thank you very much.
And don't forget social media.
Yeah, and you can follow us on Instagram on The El Carajo, and on Facebook at The El Carajo.
Excellent. Well, thank you again. And if you like the show, please give us a like. And if you really, really liked it, share it with all your friends. Thank you for coming.